Hi everyone, it's Teresa Brown back here today. This is part 2 of what I started this morning. I could see that my phone was going to go flat this morning, so I had to cut the video short. I didn't get to do everything, so I'm going to continue with the lovely lily pad stamp set because this is a reversible one and I was going to show you that this morning. Yeah, so unfortunately, like I said, my phone was going to go flat, so I finished it off and we're back on now. Okay, so let's bring you down so you can see what we're going to continue with. So what I'm actually going to do is just do a simple little card, but just show you how to do it as a reverse. Use the stamp set Reversible. So we're going to actually stamp our lily pad down onto our cardstock. The measurements for these cards are exactly the same as before, but I will give them to you again because it's another video. So it is 10.5 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. So this is the little card that we're going to work on. So I'm just going to come in here and stamp down. Then I'm going to clean my stamp and reverse it. So I'm going to take it off there and reverse it there. Okay, so now we're going to use the flat side, and I'm going to use a nice soft colour, I think. Let's go with Blushing Bride. It's one of my favourite pinks, my old ink pad. So we're just going to come down with the Blushing Bride. Now these won't line up exactly, but they'll line up pretty good to get some colour to colour it. So I'll just show you. So you can sort of see it doesn't line up exactly, but it does give that touch of colour that you want to your lily pad, which is really lovely. You can add a couple of colours to it if you want to, or just the one. It's entirely up to you, but that's how you use the reversible side of your stamp. Now we're going to do a little bit of masking. So I use Post-it notes and I stamp the image up where the sticky part is, and then I've cut it out. So we're going to stick this over the top of our image here so we can do a little bit of masking. Okay, and you can sort of see even when you put the mask on that you've got a little bit of pink coming out. That doesn't matter, okay? Okay, so we stick that on. Now I'm going to grab the stamp that's actually the lily pad. This one here, so it's a lily pad. So we're going to actually come in with it so it comes in underneath this bit here. So I'm just going to put some black ink on it. It's definitely getting warmer outside. 43 today, as I was saying this morning, so it is definitely feeling warm. So you can sort of see that I've masked the lily pad onto that, and now I'm going to clean my stamp and then I'm going to flip it over. So I'm going to flip it over, take it off and pop it over the other side. Now I'm going to come in with a green, and I think I'll come in with a light green at the moment. So I'm going to come in with the soft sea foam. It's funny when you're using old and new stamp set pads that one you flip and one you push. So I'm going to come down over the top of that, and that will give the lily pad a bit of colour as well. So clean our stamp. Now before I actually take this off, I'm actually going to do a little bit more masking here. I'm going to bring in one of the ladies from the Beautiful You stamp set, which is this one here that I was mixing and matching with this morning. And I'm going to use this lady here this time. So I'm going to just close my ink, grab my black again and ink him up. And like I said, we are doing masking at the moment. So I'm going to actually bring it around so you can sort of see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this down sort of here. So you can sort of see the lady standing behind the lily pad when we take that off. Can you see that? She's sort of behind there, which is really lovely. So we've masked the actual base of the lily pad, and then we've added the flower first, and then we added the mask, and then the lily pad, and then the lady. So I'm going to colour her in. Now you can colour her in with blenders or pencils, watercolour pencils. You can colour her in with an aqua paint or an ink. But I'm actually going to be using my Wink Stella pen, and I'm going to pick up a light colour. I've got, oh, what colour am I going to go? Okay, it's very hard sometimes to know what colour. I'm actually going to go a bit darker colour. I was going to go light, but I think I'll go a bit lighter. Okay, so I'm just going to press my lid into my pad. Whoop. So I've got some ink on the inside, so I can use this as a palette. And I'm going to use my Wink Stella because it's a shimmer pen. And it works like an aqua painter, only I'm just going to pick up the tiniest little bit and bring it over here. But it will give it a shimmer. So I'm going to come in and colour her dress with the shimmer pen. So she could be on like a little bit of an evening dress, but it's daytime. So, but I just love using the Wink Stella pen as a colouring tool. I'm quite sure you will too when you get one if you haven't got one. It's one of my favourites. Okay, so I'm just going to colour her sleeve in here. So you can, I don't know if you can actually see the glitter on that, but it does glitter. And I'm just going to do her hat as well. And do it just a little bit darker on that brim. Okay, and then just a bit lighter on the top. Just a little bit of a dark towards the top here. Okay, now to clean it, how do you clean it? Just backwards and forwards on a Post-it note or a bit of paper towel, or even on your grid paper. You can just go backwards and forwards until the ink is off your Wink Stella pen. One of my favourite colouring tools, and I know that you would love it as well. Now with this bit in here, I've got a tissue here, you just want to wipe that Wink Stella bit off that you've used. And the reason you want to wipe that off is because you don't want glitter going onto your pad. Okay. So you can sort of see she's behind the lily pad and she looks quite good. Now if you want to highlight some of this up, you can highlight that up, and we can do that with the Blushing Bride. So once again, come in, and my ink pads are a little bit dry. That's okay. This is one of my old ones. They've had a lot of use. So you can pick up with your Wink Stella pen again, and you can just come in from the bottom up and just, yeah, highlight it up and put a little bit of shimmer into your flower. Now you can do a couple of coats if you want to, 2 or 3 coats. It's entirely up to yourself. Okay. I love, if you love glitter, you'll love this, because I don't know if you can actually see how much it glitters on there, but it actually does glitter a lot. It gives it a real shim, which is really lovely. If you know our shim paper, it sort of glitters like that, which is really beautiful. So just highlight where you want to highlight. You can highlight all of it or just a little bit of it, but it makes the flower look a little bit more real than just having it flat. Okay, so you can actually, just using the reversed image like I did before is lovely, but to just add that little bit of colour into it to darken it up makes it really lovely. So once again, just grab your Post-it note, backwards and forwards on it, and that's your Wink of Stella. Now your Wink of Stella, when you receive these, it will have a little black bar in here that you will need to undo here and take the little black thing out, then wind it back in. Now that will give it access to start putting the ink through. Give it a bit of a shake, and then on the side here it says push, and you just start pushing it down, and you'll see that your glitter ink will start coming through. Okay, now when I store my Wink of Stella pen, I store it upside down this way, and so the ink's coming down to the brush, but always make sure you give it a really good shake, okay, before you use it. I don't know if you can actually see the shim on that at all, but you can see how we've highlighted that now, which is really lovely. You can actually colour her arms and her face in with a light pink if you want to, but I'm not going to worry about that. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Now I'm going to mat this onto black cardstock, so I'll just give you the measurements to that one as well, which is 11 by 8. And we're just going to make sure that's dry. So before I just let it dry, before I actually stick it down, I just want to share some other little tips that you can actually do with this stamp set, especially the Beautiful You one today. Now the Beautiful You can actually, this is just using scraps. So I had a scrap of Designer Series paper, and I had a tiny little bit that gave me enough to stamp the image on. So this one is what we use today, but on this side, it's all red. I've actually stamped it out because I can use this later. Cut her hat out and cut her little dress out and place it on like this. So that gives you a quick, easy little card that you're using the Designer Series paper to do your colouring. So that's one way. This is another one that I did with the Designer Series paper. So I just used a little bit of the stamps that were in the stamp set. They're just like squiggly lines really, but just use them to sort of put a bit of colour behind the word in the ground on this one. Now this one here, I just wanted to show you it partly done. So I've used her, I stamped it out and I've cut out the dress, but I didn't do the umbrella, so that's the reverse side of the scrap that I had of that. So having two sides to your paper, you can cut this out. So I could cut the umbrella out and paste it on here. Okay, and then the other thing that you can do with this stamp set as well is that you can do sponging. So if you haven't got Designer Series paper and you've only got a few inks, you could actually do some sponging. So you can do a bit of a reflection coming down here, a bit of ground, a bit of water, and just add some little flowers and birds and that, and you can just actually do some sponging. Now her dress is from Designer Series paper as well, and the umbrella, because you can feel it raised up. Okay, so you can use the colour in there. It actually makes her pop out a lot better when you do that. Now the pack that I'm using today is the sampler pack, and it's just got so many different, I've been using this all week actually. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's got so many different patterns and papers in it. So this is the one that I'm used today, and you'll get a card out of it and you'll get some scraps out of it. So this bit here was the side that I cut off from using my card base today. So I can actually, like I said, use the opposite side now, and I can stamp out a few ladies on that. I reckon I could pretty well nearly get 4 ladies out of that. and get 4 different cards, because depending on how you stamp it to the way it comes out. So this sampler pack's been really good. I was determined if I bought it to share with people that I was going to use it up, because sometimes I get these 6x6 paper packs and yeah, I forget to use them all, but they've just got some beautiful, these are all the papers that are in the mini catalogue, and some of them are just absolutely beautiful. It's the golf paper, the dress to impress paper, the poppy parade paper, the golf, it's got on both sides, it's got just absolutely beautiful, all the papers are just absolutely beautiful. So over the next few weeks I'm going to be using a lot of these papers, because I just want to yeah, not have a lot left over. Now that comes free with the mini guillotine, which is really beautiful, and a stamp set of your choice if you join Sale.A.Bration, join Stampin' Up during Sale.A.Bration, I should say. You get those products. Okay, this is dry now, so we're going to use a bit of snail, and I'm just going to stick this on. Okay, so I'm using a black matte, because black, when you're not putting a lot on a card, makes it pop. And as you can see, it makes it pop right out. And she just looks lovely, like she's looking down at the lily pad. You could add some sponging and water and mountains behind her. You could do a whole theme if you wanted to. Our designer series paper that I used is 9.5 by 13.5, and the black matte is 14 by 10. So I'm going to snail that onto here. You could use either side if you wanted to. You could go with this side, which would look just as lovely, which actually I might even use that side this time. I just like it. Or you can use the other one, which I did on the card this morning. So if you pop over to the video I did before this one, was this morning's one. And I think I might go, I'm just looking to see, this is a beautiful paintbrush side of the paper, which is really gorgeous. Okay, so yes, I think that looks beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this on here. Beautiful. I can see the lily really shimmering at the moment, and I don't know if you can see it shimmering at all, but anyhow, that's okay. So then once again I would cut my card. It's 21 centimetres, which is the sheet of the paper, and I've cut it off at 14.5. Now I did share with you the other day, if you fold your whole piece of card in half, then you can actually line it up on your mini trimmer if you wanted to, and cut it that way. Because it's a little guillotine, it actually goes through a couple more layers, which is really, really good. Okay, so I'm just going to place this on the card, which is really nice. And then I would put also a black matte in there and a white in the inside. So that's our quick little card there, which is really lovely. Just going to bring you back up. So I hope you enjoyed. This was using the reversible side and using masking, and yeah, it's one of our free stamp sets that you can get with a $90 order. So I just love the combination of mix and match, and this is mixing and matching with the beautiful U stamp set and our beautiful water lily stamp set. So this one's got 2 packs. That's the beautiful U. This one's got 1, but it comes with the die cuts. You can get die cuts and the designer series paper also free in Sale.A.Bration with either a $180 order for the dies, or if you place a $180 order, you can get the stamp and the paper together, or a $90 order, you can get the stamp and another $90 order later, you can get the paper, and then if you put 180 in after that, you can get the dies. And what a great combination that is. And the other thing is our little notelet cards. So the little samples that I showed you this morning, that or this afternoon, I mean, I just use these notelet cards, and you get 20 notelet cards and 20 envelopes, and you can use up so many scraps of designer series paper and that on these little cards. They're a really great time saver because they're already cut out, scored for you, and the envelope's there too. So I hope you enjoyed our lovely lily pad stamp set and how to use the reversible side of it. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.